All right, so here we're factoring trinomials, and this time we're going to use what's called the AC or split the middle method. I'm going to refer to it as the AC split the middle method. When you talk to other teachers, and if you're trying to get help from somebody else, and they say, "Well, what method do you use?" and you like this method, you're going to tell them you're using the AC method. Okay. So now here are the steps for the AC method. The steps for the AC method. One, we're going to multiply. Well, wait. What's A and C? Well, we're dealing with trinomials, right? So the trinomials that we're going to be dealing with are in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Right? Where a is the number in front of x squared and c is the number by itself. Right? So that first number and the last number. So AC means multiply first number, last number. Okay, so here we're going to multiply A times C. Step 2 is we need to, we're going to find factors of that product, of that AC, that add to B. All right, that's the B right here. That's that number in the middle. And part 3, we're going to split the middle. Part 4, I'm going to factor by grouping. All right, so if you feel strong about factor by grouping, this might be the one that works best for you. It may be the one that works best for you. All right. So multiply A times C. Then we're going to find factors of AC that add up to B. And you're going to notice that's going to be the big X thing that we do. Part 3 is we're going to split the middle. We're going to take it from 3 terms. We're going to split the middle into 2 different terms. So we'd have 4 terms. And that way we could do factor by grouping. Okay? All right. So let's go with our first example here. And this is not a really great example, and I want to do this example because I want you to see what happens. Here I have an x squared plus 4x minus 12. A in this instance is 1. So sometimes the AC method is just the C method. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12, right? So here I put this together in this x form over here, okay? I put this big giant X together to keep everything in line. Now I need to find the factors of negative 12 that add up to 4. Well, here I need to put my 4 down here. Okay? So this is where I put the B, and I need to put the factors of negative 12 that add up to 4. Well, one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. Well, 1 and 12 are not going to get me to 4. 2 and 6, however, will. So if I have a positive 2 and a negative 6, then I'd have a negative 2 minus 6 would be negative 4. But if I have a negative 2 and a positive 6, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. All right, so that's the game that you have to play. Again, we're adding these, so we have to add to get to here, and we multiply to get to here, right? So these two numbers would add to this number and multiply to that number. All right, so here we go. Now we need to, step 3, split this middle term. It's no longer going to say 4x. Here I have x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 12. Notice that I have taken 4 and it is now negative 2x plus 6. And that's still a true statement. And part 4, I need to do my factor by grouping. So here, first 2 terms, my second 2 terms. Greatest common factor here, the biggest number would be a 1. I'm not worried about that. The smallest exponent here, I have an x. So x comes out, and x squared divided by x is x. Negative 2x divided by x is negative 2. 6 and negative 12. Okay, so 6 and 12, they both have a 6, and I'm going to take that sign with it. 6x divided by 6 is x. Negative 12 divided by 6 is a negative 2. These are the same, so then I have x plus 6 times x minus 2. And those would be my factors. All right, so if there is a 1 in front, you're just going to put c up here, b down here, find two numbers that multiply to c and add to 4, or b, whatever you may say. All right. Let's take a look at another example here. All right. So my next example, we have 5x squared plus 19x plus 12. That looks terrible, and I'm sorry. That is a 12. Okay, so 5 times 12. Well, that is a positive 60. And now I need to come up with numbers that multiply to 60 and add up to 19. So numbers that multiply to 60 and add up to 19. Well, what are all the factors of 60? We have 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10, 7, no, 8, no, 9, no. Okay, so those are all the factors as quickly as I could of 60. Now, which one of these is going to add up to 19 and multiply? Well, we already know that they multiply to 60. That's 6 plus 10 is 16, so that's out. 5 plus 12 is 17, so that's out. 4 plus 15 is 19. So here we go. 4 plus 15. And that will give me the 19 that I need. So, again, these guys right here add up to 19. They multiply to 60 and add to 19. So, again, I want to write this one more time. These guys are going to add to 19 and multiply to 60. They were both positive, right? Everything here is positive, so it's okay. Now, I got to split the middle, so I end up with 5x squared plus 4x plus 15x plus 12. And now my final step is factor by grouping. Between 5x squared and 4x, the only thing I can drag out of that would be an x. And 5x squared divided by x is 5x. 4x divided by x is a positive 4. And now with 15x plus 12. Okay, so 15 and 12, what do they have in common? Well, my factors of 15 are 3 and 5. Well, 5 definitely doesn't go into 12, but 3 definitely does. So that sign, again, that sign's going to come down, and I get my 3 out there. 15x divided by 3 is 5x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Hey, that's great, because 5x plus 4, 5x plus 4, they match. So then I get x plus 3 times 5x plus 4. Now here's a question that I get, and sometimes this happens. What happens if if I put the 15 here and the 4 here? If I had put the 15 here and the 4 here, would it still work? That's a really good question. Here's my suggestion. Try it out. Try it. We'll put the 15x here and the 4x here and try to factor by grouping using those two and see if you get the same factors. All right, I'm going to do one more. Yeah, we got time for one more. So let's go with, excuse me, 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. So, again, 2 times negative 9, that gives me a negative 18. And I want to add to 3. So, all the factors of 18, real quick. We got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 4, no, 5, no. Okay, I'm done. All right, so the factors of 18, of negative 18, excuse me, the factors of negative 18 that are going to add up to a positive 3. Well, I know since it's negative, I'm going to subtract these. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So I'm going to use 6 and 3. Now, 6 times 3 is a positive 18. So I need one of these to be negative, and I want it to add up to a positive 3. So I want the bigger one, 6. I need that 6 to be positive, so the 3 is going to be negative. Right? And 6, again, 6 plus a negative 3. All right, it's going to add up to a 3. 6 times negative 3 will multiply to negative 18. Okay? Now I get to split the middle with 6 and negative 3. So here we go. 2x squared. So that's no longer there. I'm going to put a plus 6x minus 3x minus 9. And now we got to go factor by grouping. Factor by grouping. So I want this group here and include my sign. So between 2x squared and 6x, the greatest common factor between these guys has to be 2 and x, right? X squared and x gives me the x out. So 2x squared divided by 2x is x. 6x divided by 2x is a positive 3. Now I have a negative, so I know I have to bring out at least a negative, and 3 goes into both 3 and 9. And there's no x here, so x doesn't come out. So negative 3x divided by a negative 3 is a positive x. Negative 9 divided by a negative 3 is a positive 3. Now these are the same, so now I know my factors are 2x minus 3 times x plus 3.